Welcome to Raw Live. My name is Rohit Bassi, and today we have an amazing guest with us. Let me introduce you to her. Our speaker for today has been helping leaders and teams to drive their performance so they can grow with clarity, courage, and confidence with a methodology of an astronaut perspective. That's going to be interesting to hear about that, based on proven tools and techniques. She helps professionals to accelerate growth by realigning their perspective to their desired goals during change and uncertainty. She is the founder of NeuroXL Ltd, a training and consultancy company based in Singapore. She is certified executive coach. She's a certified executive coach and licensed NLP master, trained by the co-creator of NLP in London. She is a published contributing author and author of her upcoming book, Perspective Matters, A Voyage from Emotion to Excellence. Through the years, she has been volunteering for the social causes of empowerment through education and climate change. Let us welcome Rafiya Sultana, our speaker for today, who is an award-winning trainer and performance coach. She has delivered her keynotes in multiple countries. Welcome, Rafiya. Thank you very much for being here.
Hi, Ravi. Thanks for inviting me. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today.
Thank you, thank you. So we are live on Facebook. We're live on Zoom as well. So let's start. Let's start with a very difficult question. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
The difficult question is, in 3 minutes, sum up where were you and how did you get to where you are? Just very short summary, and then we'll go into the details.
Okay. I was an aeronautics engineer back 10 years back, where I was, that was my education, and that was my work that I have been doing. But in between, something that happened, which changed my perspective about life, about the resources and opportunities I had at that point of time of my life. And that was the rock bottom of my life, where I realized that I have certain skills to be a speaker and coach, and that's where I'm here. Maybe I can share in detail later on.
Yeah, we will get into that, sharing into the detail. Yeah. So you're based in Singapore. That is correct.
Yes, I'm based in Singapore.
And that is, and I believe you have a lovely young daughter.
Yes, I have a daughter. She's my world, and she has been my strength throughout this journey of all the ups and downs. And literally, in fact, we both grew up together. And she's much more better and mature than me in a way. Most of my friends say, like, I think she's not your mother. I mean, she's not your daughter. It seems like she is your mother. So you can imagine how blessed I am to have my daughter beside me throughout this journey. Yeah, but I'm really grateful and really blessed to have her in my life.
So it's interesting how she is your mother and you're the daughter. That's very, very interesting. So let's go a bit deeper into this. So your whole topic is raw perspectives, and it's doing that mind shift.
Yes.
And the word which you use is, let me bring it up. It is unconventional truths amidst the conventional lies of success. I mean, that's quite heavy. What do you mean by that?
Through my journey of transformation, as I told you, like I have my story, which I will share later. There is always certain definition about success, right? Okay, this is success. Okay, if you do this, you will get this. If you follow this, you'll get this. And there's a lots and lots of information online, and the people that you meet in your journey, we get to define our success in a certain way based on these factors. But I strongly believe that it need not be true every time. There are certain truths of success that we'll get to know only by going through that grind of failures, many failures. It's not only the success, we reach to the point of success after the grind of many failures. And then we will get to know that what all we have been working on, thinking that this is a definition of success, is a lie. But it was a conventional lie. But what we learn from our experiences is unconventional, but it is the truth, your truth of being successful. So yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay, so it's interesting you say it's your truth
Yes.
and your truth of success, and you
Yes.
talk about something called an astronaut perspective. Now,
Yes.
how does this relate to raw perspective? Because everything you talk about is always about perspective. Even your book, which is coming up, which is Perspective Matters.
Yes.
How come? And it seems you've started from a point of an astronaut's perspective. So give me a bit more detail for our listeners, our viewers. What do you mean by that? I mean, there must be a story behind this.
Are you ready for the story? Do you have a
Yes,
patience?
please. Go for it. I'm getting my tissue.
Oh, no need. Hopefully, I'll try to keep it simple. Well, thank you for this question, Rohit. It's quite, there's a quite deep emotion to be who I am today. And there is a story, I won't say it's a sad story, but that built my character over the period of time. So that started with a life-changing moment. I'll share with you. It goes like, it was Thursday, 1:30 a.m. In the morning. I mean, we can call it as a morning. Yep. I was sitting in complete darkness on the window of my living room.
Okay.
One of my legs was hanging outside the window and another was hanging inside the window. So there was a 14-story drop ground below, and imagine what I was doing sitting there.
So one leg is hanging outside and one is inside.
Yes, and I was sitting straight on the window of my living room.
And this is in India, Singapore. Where is it?
I was in Dubai at that time. I was not in India. I left India quite long back, but yeah, all my roots and my family, it started with India. I'm an Indian. I was in Dubai at that time. And so what I was doing sitting on that window is, to answer this question, I need to take you back to my childhood. So please bear with me. I was born in India, in a small town, in a conservative community. In those days, as a girl in this environment, the only expectation is to learn to be an obedient daughter, a good wife, and a mother. I had no other resources to learn from my than my school and my homework and the homework that I get from my school due to cultural restrictions and our family financial situation, as we could not afford a TV or a computer. Yeah, but I was hungry for knowledge, always looking for opportunities to find to find newspapers and to find books from my friends and also relatives and neighbors, going to library. And also my mother has been the sole breadwinner for the family of 7 and always worked hard to bring meals on the table for survival. One morning when I was 6 years old, I found a torn newspaper that my mother brought from my neighbors. And right there, I found my dream. What was there on that paper is, it was something magical that I saw for the first time in my life. The first Indian woman in space.
Oh, wow.
It was mind-blowing to me at that time, for a girl who is from a conservative background, who don't have much of an exposure than her family and school. So that have been my life until that point. So to think not only of a human being going into space, but secondly, a woman, was mind-blowing to me. In my environment, space was something that women were meant to keep clean, not flying to space. Not flying to spaceship. So that moment was the birth of my childhood dream, to be an astronaut. And so I dedicated my life turning my dream into a reality. I read every book and article I could find. I did experiments at home with broken plastic bottles, newspapers, cotton, and new old plastic bottles, fabric. So I worked hard to pursue and continue my education, and this hard work translated into grades good enough that I won scholarships. And eventually, despite our circumstances, I became the first girl in our family to complete a university degree in engineering. Yeah, because all the girls were, it was a common norm to get married by 16, 17, hopefully. So I'm so grateful that I did not get to that zone. Thankfully, I'm so grateful for that. After my degree, I began my career in an aeronautical organization. Everything I did, I hoped would be bring me with the hope to bring closer to my dream of becoming an astronaut. My mother has been a great inspiration throughout this journey. She herself was not educated, but to me, she was a visionary leader who raised her three daughters. So I was the second, so we were three girls, three daughters with respect, dignity, human values, and education. And I'm so proud of her for that. And me, along with my sisters, were well respected in our community because of these values. But not long after my graduation, cultural expectations and the pressure to get married became very strong. I understood that we cannot afford to continue my education, and this pressure from the society led me to take the tough decision to give up on my dream, which is very difficult at that point of time.
Okay,
so I became a wife. Sorry.
So you were living in a life of poverty, and then this massive dream came through this newspaper, giving you this, indicating to you what your dream is. You graduated, as the first woman in the family, the first woman in the family to get a degree. Aeronautical engineering is what you aim for, and that dream was of that astronaut, and suddenly it's coming all tumbling down.
Yeah. Yes.
And that tumbling down was, what was that tumbling down?
So I became a wife and a mother, and I was responsible in my duties as both to continue my story. I felt as this change was completely beyond my control, and it was so unfair, but I could not express that. I was frustrated, angry, helpless. I gained weight and lost my confidence completely. I used to be very fit. However, I thought that I will survive this, but day by day, it was slowly crushing my soul, and I just could not completely accept and adapt to this massive change in my life. I did not share my pain with anyone, and that pain gradually increased to a point after 2 years that I wanted to end this pain forever.
Okay.
I lost hope and desire to continue. So, yeah, that's when I decided to jump out of the window. That's where I was sitting on the window. That's the story
one leg out, one leg in.
Yes, yeah. So that was the moment of serendipity in my life. That was the lowest point in my life. Of course, I was a mother and I had to be more responsible towards the family. Yes, I was being very responsible in my duties, but deep inside, this pain was killing me. And thankfully, I was saved from that attempt by my husband, who came to check on me, and quickly he pulled me into the room. Fast forward 10 years on from that day until today, I'm in a much better place now. And I have built a career as a coach and a speaker where I now help others live an abundant and purposeful life. I managed to take control and change my life, and I'm very content and at peace now. So that's where I created this an astronaut's perspective, because how did I make this change? Because it's not so easy as I'm telling you. It's not as easy that change happened overnight. No, it took me long 10 years to pull myself back and put myself back onto the track and to be who I am today as a speaker and coach. So how did I make this change? I did this through gaining an astronaut's perspective. So that's where comes an astronaut's perspective. You see, astronauts get to see the world from an entirely different point of view. They have this opportunity to break free from their current environment here on Earth and fly far into space. then they can turn and look back at Earth from a completely different perspective. My, what a view that must be. I'm not an astronaut. I did not live my dream of being an astronaut, but through my journey of transformation, I realized that it is possible to gain an astronaut's perspective without traveling to space. So now answer to your question, how does it work? What does it mean? I'm sure you have these questions in your mind.
Yes.
You see, the key to my transformation was unlocking this ability to take myself out of my current situation and view my world from an entirely different perspective.
Okay.
Just as astronauts do. I have learned that we cannot see the full picture until we can step out of the frame. And we cannot solve our problems with the same kind of thinking that we created. This is quoted by Einstein. We know this. So this to me is an astronaut's perspective. So you can step outside. So that's what I have been doing. That's why I chose this profession of being a coach and trainer and speaker and sharing my journey and the absolute real wisdom that I attained in my journey, my raw wisdom. So you can, so I'm helping others. So you can step out of outside your current world and look back at it from a different viewpoint. So you can stop seeing just the problems, start finding, and also start finding possibilities for growth. So to gain an astronaut's perspective, I can assure you and I can promise you that you need not to go to space. You can do it by applying this an astronaut's perspective. It's also one of the methodology that I use in my training and coaching space. So yeah, you don't have to fly into space, but you can still work on your mindset. You can change your perspectives by changing your perspective. So this is the story. I know it's a little longer, but I hope I got the zest of what it does mean.
So
to me, at least.
How does this relate to raw perspective? You've got astronaut perspective, then you've got a raw perspective.
Yeah. Raw perspective, because often what happens, we get this influence of, what all resources you have with your own definition of success. Maybe it's not your own definition of success, but it is defined by someone else. It becomes raw perspective when you find your own path, looking into your own self. And whatever problem or whatever situation that you're going through at this point of time, looking at it from a different perspective. But that perspective is your own perspective, based on your strengths and weaknesses, because by the time you step out, you can see things with much more clarity. And eventually you gain the courage to face your problems, and you will gain the courage to face your failures and bring that confidence back in your attitude to move forward no matter what happens. So that is raw to me. It is raw because in fact, when I wanted to start my business, as you know, like I'm one of the young entrepreneur in Singapore, and even in Singapore, even in speaking industry, people used to have this stereotype, you need to have a lot of experience to be a speaker, or you need a lot of experience to come to this space. So these kind of stereotypes is stopping many young people to step into their power. We talk about gender bias and many other biases that we feel, but I also face this generational bias, which is not much of in light. But there will be many biases, whether or not we want to be a victim of that. There will be many biases, but when your perspectives, these raw perspectives that you eventually get in this journey of self-discovery and self-mastery, eventually you will realize that these raw perspectives is your real asset. These failures and the lessons that you learn from those failures are your raw perspectives. That will lead you through your path.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a very easy question now. You ready for it?
Yes.
So with the current situation, forget about the current situation. This could happen in different scenarios as well. For those people who have lost their jobs or whose businesses have collapsed, how can they relate to this raw perspective? What can they do using this concept of raw perspective, which is the astronaut view, to move forward or take action in their lives?
Sure. Very interesting question. So, as we know, when these raw perspectives are nothing but the lessons that you learned in your journey of transformation or in your journey of success, your own definition of success, that's fine. It is there on its own. But there is a great deal of uncertainty and change, which is constant throughout our life. Like I'm at certain age. I'm not going to tell you what is my age, but
18 years old?
Yes, 16.
Oh, sorry, sweet 16. Sweet 16.
Okay, so I'm at certain age now, and I cannot expect to be the way I used to behave and live when I was child, and I cannot get back to be a child. So knowingly or unknowingly, as human beings, we are going through this change and uncertainty throughout our life. So it is a part of our life. Yeah, sometimes it is much more difficult to look into the situation from a different perspective. It is not so easy, but when there are no other options to do, the only option is to look inside rather than looking outside. So in my journey of transformation, uncertainty was always there. Like when I was a child, I wasn't sure whether I could be able to continue my education or not, because my community is different. But I have been living with that certainty, with my own, in my own comfort zone, and also many times I was stepping out of the comfort zone. But it never happened. I mean, I had to stop. It was uncertain situation. I never imagined myself to be something else or someone else than an astronaut. That even led me to the point to end my life, which was quite unfortunate, and that was the situation nobody should go. So why it is important to have these raw perspectives, why you need to look into yourself, because whenever I was going low, the lowest point in my life, there are two things which I remind myself, that no pain or failure can be bigger than your belief. Believe in yourself that as long as your brain cells are working, you can survive.
Okay.
Maybe in a different way. And another thing that I remind myself is that whenever I try to find solution by looking within, I was never disappointed. Maybe it takes time. It's a process. That's what is an astronaut's perspective. It is not like overnight. It's a process. We need to calm down our mind, and we need to build that confidence in us to courageously face those unfortunate and uncertain situations that we are facing in. Then comes a solution. So there is no point jumping straight away into the solution, because you will get disappointed, because the kind of situation we are in, it's not so easy to get solutions. So first of all, I understand with my journey, I'm no one to judge anyone else how, because everyone have got a different journey. But I can only share with my experience that yes, we need to calm down our mind first. Step back from whatever fears that you're facing. So be the third person. Like imagine if there is a frame, in about whatever is happening in your life. And the moment you step back from that frame, you can see things from much clarity. When you are inside that frame, your mind is surrounded with all those negative emotions of fear, and your mind is not calm. You know, in the water, if there are many waves, you cannot see beneath what is there. To see the depth and beneath the water, we need to stabilize that water, and we need to wait until that water calms down. It same applies to our brain. When we are in this frame, we cannot see a solution with clarity. So when we are stepping out of the frame, like an astronaut, as I mentioned about the astronaut's perspective, we can see things from a different perspective. What actually is the root cause of this problem? And once they get to know that this is the problem, they can work on it. But as long as they are in that frame, they can't even see, they can't even see from a different perspective. They will only see through the eyes of fear. They will only see through the eyes of anxiety. Like when I was there, when I was hitting my rock bottom of my life, I could not see solution. Does it mean that there was no solution? Does it mean that there were no opportunities? Opportunities were still there. But now I'm a different person because I've worked on my mindset, because I've worked on my thoughts, the kind of thoughts that I'm allowing into my mind. So I think, yes, it does helps the moment, because the stepping out of the frame is the painful task. Before that, you need to accept that change has happened and I need to do something about my life.
So
that's the toughest part. Yeah.
So stepping out of the frame is the toughest part, you're saying. How does one allow themselves to step out of the frame?
Okay. Acceptance. Acceptance is the key.
Okay.
As long as we are trying to focus only on the problem, that, okay, this is a problem, so because of this, the moment we are focusing only on the problem, our focus naturally goes to what may go wrong, and then it multiplies. A human brain is like, it starts with just one negative thought. But as long as we are entertaining that one negative thought, it multiplies into millions and millions and millions. That's what happens to the people who are getting into these issues of depression or any mental ailments, because it is not that they are not productive, or it doesn't mean that they don't know how to manage themselves. It's just that they need to pause and acceptance is the key. Accept that, okay, there has been some change that you're going through, and ask yourself, are you happy with this change? If you're clearly unhappy, you have to step out of the frame to find a solution, because if there is a problem, we need a solution. As long as you are in that frame, you can only see the problem. The moment you step out of the problem, you can see the clarity. And how we can step out of the frame? By accepting that there is a change, and be willing and open to allow yourself to find solution. Yes.
Okay. So you've got a young one.
Yes.
Yeah. In times when she thinks negative, how do you help her out? Or what we define as negative? How do you assist her?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? What did you say?
So in times when your little one goes through that negative thought, being a child, because children also tend to go through this.
Yes.
What do you, or how do you guide her to get out of that negative thought or accept that negative thought? What do you do with her?
I'll try to shift her focus from problems to possibilities. I'll try to, first of all, I'll just be quiet, be a good listener. I won't provide solution like, okay, you know what, this is what you have to do. This is what you have to do. For the people who are in this frame of negativity, they need someone to listen first. Like, okay, this is what I do with my clients that I have been working, my coaching clients and the organizations that I have been working, like whenever I deliver my training programs, this is what I say. Like, unless, if you are in that frame of negativity, if I ask you like, okay, you know what, you cannot find a solution, so you need to shift your focus from problems to possibilities, it's not as easy as it looks. It's not so easy to change the mindset of a person within a given point of time. But but it starts with building that trust with the person with whom you want to help first. Listen what actually is bothering them, what is diverting their thoughts from solution, and why they tend to stay more with the problem. But so it's a process of understanding them. So if my girl say, let's say, like if she comes back from school and she says that, okay, mama, I'm bullied, like I'm depressed and I don't know what to do, I'm feeling bad and sad, so I will listen first of all, like, and then I'll asking them a right questions. I will ask them, I will ask her, like, why you feel so. First, I will listen, then asking them the right question, and then third, shifting their focus from problems to possibilities.
Okay.
And it starts with the acceptance, helping them to accept the situation as it is, which is not easy. But in coaching terms, of course, you're also a coach. We have our own way of doing it. But it's as simple as that. In an instant, try to shift their focus from problems to possibility. Try to remind them what are the strengths that they have, they're already blessed with. And gratitude is the key. Helping them to be more grateful, that instantly shifts their focus from negativity to a positive. No matter how small blessing that they have at that point of time, it will certainly help them to step out of the frame. So yeah, acceptance, gratitude.
Okay. So you talk about gratitude, and this is what I've heard across many people say, how gratitude is very important. In your experience with obviously your life and your clients, why is gratitude so important? How does it help a client? How does it help you? What does it do?
Okay. As we know, the path to the success is not straight line, it's always spiral. We have to go through this grind of many failures to learn the lessons which are highly important for us to learn at that point of time, so that in future, whenever we face any issues, we can deal with them. That's one part. But again, it's not as easy as we say, because we are human beings. We have certain emotions, and not everyone have got the same kind of level of managing their emotions, not controlling but managing their emotions. In that case, whenever they get, so there is a tendency to get into this spirals of negative cycles. The moment they fail, the moment they face rejections, the moment they find themselves low for whatever reasons, maybe at a professional level or in a personal level, relationships wise, they must have certain support system or mechanism where it can help them to instantly, or at least in some process, to bring themselves out from that negative spiral. So gratitude could be one of the thing. It's not as simple as there is a whole science behind to explain about gratitude, how it can help your brain to be a positive. But in a layman's term, I can say that it can instantly shift your focus from problem to a possibility. Because when our state of mind is positive, as we know, like, we attract more of a positivity. So which is a consecutive process. But to initialize that process, first of all, we need to make sure that our mind is not in a negative state of mind. When I was in London, during my NLP course, I learned this beautiful line. They say is like, there is no such thing as failure. It's only a feedback. But to take that as a feedback, it's not instant. We must have a certain mechanism, support system, to instantly. We cannot shift, because we are not robots. We cannot shift our emotions immediately. But gratitude is it's kind of a shortcut in a way. Just let's say, like, I'm very disappointed about my today's my presentation, and I was not so happy. So after the presentation, there are two options that I can do. One, sit for the rest of the day and sob for what I have been doing, or feel grateful that yes, at least I found something that take a lesson, not considering as feedback, and be grateful that this opportunity helped me to find a loophole or find a flaw in my presentation, so that I can work. So there is two ways of looking into it. But shift that focus, gratitude could be the medium. So I think that way gratitude definitely helps to bring your focus from problems to possibilities, and to keep you consistently in a positive state of mind. Because with a negative mind, we cannot bring positive results in life. So we must need to be in a positive state of mind to bring positivity and positive results for what all efforts that we're putting into at a professional and personal life.
Okay. So going a bit deeper into gratitude, how do you teach gratitude to your clients or to your loved ones? How do you teach them that?
I give them tasks, first of all. I won't say, because it's not, again, it's not as easy as I mentioned. It's a process, because not everyone are not same. Like, there are 5 fingers and humans are different. We are different, like 5 different fingers. Everyone have got a different mindset. So for few people, it's very easy to follow these tasks of gratitude. As we know, like, as we coaches, we can assign them certain tasks to be in that state of gratitude. But for everyone, it is not so easy. Let's say if I ask my client, okay, please message 5 people in your network, or in your or for your loved ones, who have been who added a value in your journey. Just say thank you, or mention like what all, how it helped you to be to grow in your life, maybe at a professionals. So it's not the same with 2 different clients. For one client it might be easy. Oh yeah, I mean, yes, I'm really grateful. Sometimes they don't even know that, yes, I mean, this is the person who helped me, and that's why I go, because we don't have time. We are all very busy to focus and look back into our life. But at the same time, there is a client, for them, they who are not so expressive, who are shy by nature. For them, it's not so. It doesn't mean that they're not grateful. For them, we need to find ways to be grateful in a different way. Maybe, in their journal, they can write their own journal. Maybe if they cannot interact or openly share their feelings with others, maybe they can write their own journal. So there are many different ways, and it varies person to person based on their personality type. So as a professional, that's what I do. During first initial sessions, I get to know what kind of personality they are, and when I assign them tasks, based on that I will assign them tasks which will be easy for them to adopt and follow through, so that they can get benefited out of that task. So that's how I do.
Okay, fair enough. So the book which you're coming out with, Perspective Matters, A Voyage from Emotion to Excellence. What do you mean by a voyage from emotion to excellence?
Okay. This is, as I said, everything that I learned, all my raw perspectives, the real, in fact, I'm telling in your terms, real absolute wisdom that I attain, mostly experiential. Of course, I'm blessed to get my awards or certifications to be who I am, but that is not defining me. My passion to help people, and that is not defining me who I am. What is defining me is my experiences. Everything that I learned is from these experiences. So in that book, Emotion to Excellence, because when I was at the rock bottom of my life, I did not even, what all I'm doing now as a speaker, or getting awards, nothing was a part of the plan at all. I was just following my heart and doing what made sense to me. I failed many times. I think I failed much more than what I won in my journey. So yeah, in this book, an emotion, like, as a human being, our emotions play a key role to grow. So the growth always happens, like, it can be optimal or in an undesirable way. We are growing no matter whether or not we want to grow. So when we are growing, uh, our emotions play a vital role. Our perspectives play a vital role. How we are behaving, how we are performing, how we are building relationships with our colleagues and with the people around us. So every element is connected to your emotion. And when you learn this art of managing your emotions, it will not only help you to be a happy person, but it will also help you to excel and achieve whatever you want to achieve. And I'm a live example. That's how I did. So the whole idea of writing this book is like, I want to write everything, my personal experiences. Like once I realized the importance of our emotion, how important our emotions are, and what is the key role of perspectives or changing perspectives in managing these emotions, excellence is quite obvious. And we can lead through that journey. It's a process, but it is possible.
Okay. So here's a very, very easy question.
I guess so.
Has anyone ever turned around to you and said, Rafiya, this astronaut perspective, this raw perspective, this emotion to excellence, you're lost touch with reality. You're going crazy. And how do you deal with it if they have said that to you?
Oh, yeah. It's easy question.
I told you it's an easy question.
You're going to put me onto pedestal. Okay. Yes, definitely. As I mentioned, being a woman, it's not so easy for me. Frankly, I don't like to take any reservations of being a woman or mother, or all the drama that everyone have got. Maybe men and women, we all have our own roles and responsibilities to play, but we need not to brag about it. But at a professional level, especially when you're young, and when you want to do something new and different, not following not going by the book. So I'm a black sheep that way. I don't simply follow the rules. I am a rule breaker. I'm sorry to mention that. When it makes sense to me, when I find it is not logical, I don't mind breaking the rule, even though it has been a norm from years. So when it comes to mediocrity, definitely when there is a talent, I feel like people tend to resist. It's a human behavior, it's a human nature. Initially, they will resist, then they will make fun of you, then they may even create issues in your path, thinking that it's not worth it. I mean, who is she? I mean, what does she even know? And I mean, you're just still young. I mean, you don't know anything. So I always hear this. And I still remember a story when it's almost 3 years back, when I wanted to register my organization in Singapore. I approached a gentleman. He's a senior speaker and he's in our industry, well respected. Obviously, because something new, business is, I don't even know the ABC of business. I have certain skills, of course, I can add value to people, but business is a whole new different level. And besides, it's a great responsibility to start a business in a place like Singapore. So I approached one gentleman. I asked him, like, so this is my thought. I want to start my business because I want to create a bigger impact with what all skills I have. So besides, I have my humanitarian work. This business can support my business. So everything I shared, all the plans, I went along with all my slides. It was not even a presentation, but yeah, I was so passionate at that time. And that gentleman said, Rafiya, you know what, please don't take it wrong, but I think you should drop this idea. Okay. Imagine what he said. He said, Rafiya, there are 3 things which can go against you. 1, you are a woman. Wow. To be in the profession and to make a mark in this profession or the career path that I choose for myself. 1 is women. 2nd, you're Asian. Okay. That's a lot, is it, to handle? Woman, 3rd, Asian. 3rd? Asian, 3rd, young. Okay. I always get this. So that was the, if you're a parent or if you know any of your friends who have kids, if there are 3 kids, there will be 1 kid who is really obedient and there's another kid who is rebellious. Like if someone say don't do that, they will make sure to do that. So I am the 2nd category. So I still had many doubts, but since that he mentioned that, like these 3 things will go against you, that's fine. I'm not sure whether it's true or not, but I want to do it just because he said no. The next day itself, I went and registered my organization. But there is nothing wrong, because people, and I won't blame anyone for giving advice to me. In fact, I am who I am today because of the advice that advice and guidance I got from many of the senior speakers, and many of the senior professionals in this industry. But we must understand, especially if you're starting out, we must understand that when you take an advice, you should remember that they don't know your whole journey. They may judge you based on how you look at this moment, how you behave at this moment, but they don't know the whole story behind. And you as a leader, if I'm a leader, if I'm a visionary leader, I have a vision, but it is not always possible to convey this exactly how I feel, what I want to do with this vision to the other person. It's not so easy. So there is no blame. So that was one of the thing. And I mean, there are many, I mean, there is someone who said like I'm inefficient and slow in doing things. Yes,
Okay.
I do take time. I'm a slow learner in a way, in inefficient and slow. And sometimes I also get this saying that you're young. So if someone says something to you, you know, like even if they bully you, it happens to me many times. That way, I'm an obedient and quiet person. So many people think that I'm weak. I can't fire back. So I get bullied many times, many times. Uh, in many different ways, but the only thing I do is like I forgive, to save my peace of mind and energy, because I need my energy to do much more things, to put my passion and purpose into work. I can't waste my time sitting and listening to these people who are trying to put you down, or you know, who are again it's not trying to put you down, but it's just that they don't know you fully. So it is okay. They don't know what are your real strengths. They may judge you based on, like, you know, this young girl who came and who want to do it's this is and besides, you know, I'm a millennial, so millennials are naturally, they are already have this reputation of being a black sheep, and many organizations are still struggling with that. So whenever I approach for any advice, so this is also I get that, you know, like, you know what, Rafiya, first you should go and get some experience and then next. That's true, I agree. But it's not the case for everyone. There are certain skills that we have that people cannot see. And I was even bullied. This is also one of the reason I don't mention a lot about my family or anything, that saying that, because people at times they judge you immediately, like, you know, like I'm looking for more reservations of being a woman, I'm looking for more reservations of being a mother, or sharing my sad story. So I did not want to build myself on any kind of sympathy. I wanted to build myself completely on the skill, because I know I believe myself. I believe in myself that this is me. I know what I am. I will respect and listen to everyone who is there to help me. And I'm highly grateful for everyone who have been a part of my journey and who help you to give that push. But I am much more thankful to the people who did not believe me, because they challenged me.
Okay, fair enough. So we're going to come to a close of the interview. So I'm going to ask you two more questions. Okay. Yeah. So you said your daughter is the mother and you are the daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking that into consideration, she being the mother in the relationship, what has she taught you? What is that one thing which she has really taught you, which touches you and makes you get up and do whatever you need to?
Quite an interesting question. So, very recently in her school, she got a certificate from his principal that principled in decision making.
Okay.
I mean, for her age, I don't even know what does it mean when I was her age. And she got these 2 consecutive years this certificate. And to be frank, I'm not that dedicated mother, because I have many other responsibilities to focus on. I am not even being with her all the time. At times I feel guilty. All mothers do that. But she have been amazing the way independently she have been taking care of herself. And so the one thing that I learned from her is patience. I think I'm a bit less patient compared to her. So yes, she's amazing, very mature. I'm so blessed to have her.
What is her age, by the way?
She's 9. She will turn 9. She's 8.5 now. Yeah.
And her name?
Uzma.
Uzma. Okay. Bless. So before we finish off, how can people contact you? Where do they contact you? How do they, get in touch with you? How do they communicate with you, connect with you?
I have my website, LinkedIn, everything. We can search for by Rafiya Sultana Singapore. Thankfully, there are not many Rafiya Sultanas in Singapore, so they can connect me. Yeah. So I'm so lucky that way. So being Rafiya Sultana, being speaker, it's a rare combination. Indian, speaking, women. These three are three taboos. So I'm grateful. So yes, I mean, answering to your question, they can reach me through my website www.neuroexcel.org and org, and they can also contact me through my email neuroexcel@rafiyasultana.com. Otherwise, if you search for my name in LinkedIn, in Facebook, I am available. So you can connect with me anytime, any organization or anyone who are struggling to step out of that frame of negativity and who are struggling to find solutions. I'm here to help so that they can successfully step out of that negative frame of negativity and move forward with more clarity and conviction and build that confidence, to face all the fears and failures that they need to go through in their journey of success. So yeah.
Okay. Final question. This is going to be an extremely tough one.
Tough? Okay.
Okay. Where did you get your nails done?
Singapore.
Where did you get them done?
In Singapore, of course. Oh, you need the name?
Yeah. So people out there can know as well.
Oh,
Your
origins.
the secret to your nails.
Okay, Origins Singapore. It is in Bedok. They can come and they can have it's in Bedok Mall. Yeah.
Because they are very noticeable. So it has to, people, I'm sure all the ladies, in fact, as a guy, I was wondering, where did you get your nails done from? Not that I can get my nails done, but for all the ladies out there, that's where she got her nails done from. Thank you so much, Rafiya. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. I had real fun having this conversation with you. For a change, it is not formal. I have been really easy. I'm not sure whether it helped you or not, but I did my best to share my raw perspectives.
You did an amazing job. Truly appreciate it. Thank you everyone who has joined us live, and thank you to everyone who's going to listen to this later on. Rafiya Sultana from Singapore. Really appreciate it. Take care, everyone. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.
Thank you everyone for your time.